Welcome to News to Know. Today is Monday, September the 13th, 2021. And here's the news you need to know. We begin today in North Korea, where the communist government tested newly developed cruise missiles over the weekend. It was reported that the missiles traveled over 900 miles to hit test targets inside North Korean territory. While the country has been internationally sanctioned for its nuclear and ballistic missile programs, it has not been banned from developing cruise missiles, which have the ability to fly under defensive radars. The long range of these missiles puts both South Korea and Japan within striking distance. If the North Koreans are able to downsize their nuclear warheads, they could be attached to these cruise missiles and used against either nation. The missile launches were seen as a response to recent joint South Korean and American military exercises. The military junta in the West African state of Guinea has announced that they will be holding talks this week with various political parties of the country. The talks are intended to prepare Guinea for a return to civilian rule. On September 5, a military coup overthrew the government of President Alpha Condé in response to the president's constitutional reform, which allowed him to run for a third term in office. It is all too common in Africa for democratically elected presidents to change a nation's constitution in order to maintain power beyond the legal limits. This has led to many African democracies transitioning into dictatorships. Today, in Norway, the Nordic nation goes to the polls for national elections. The Conservative Party, which currently leads a coalition government, is not expected to win enough seats in parliament to easily remain in power. Environmental issues are considered the number one issue for voters. The Scandinavian country has long been an exporter of oil and natural gas from its North Sea reserves. The profits from the oil industry have been directed toward Norway's generous social welfare programs. The question for the Northern European nation is whether voters are willing to tighten the belt of government in favor of environmental concerns. In Italy, a 6-year-old boy has been taken from his paternal aunt's house and taken to Israel. The boy, Eitan Byron, is the sole survivor of a cable car crash that occurred in northern Italy in May. His parents and younger brother were killed in the accident. His family was originally from Israel, but had been living in Italy for many years at the time of the crash. After being released from the hospital, he was being cared for by his father's sister, who was given custody of the child. Eitan's mother's father, his maternal grandfather, had moved from Israel to Italy after the accident and had petitioned for custody. While his petition was denied, he was granted visitation rights. Eitan went out with his grandfather for a planned outing on Saturday. However, Eitan was taken by his grandfather to Switzerland, where they boarded a private jet. His grandfather used the boy's Israeli passport to gain him entry into Israel. The grandfather says that he did not kidnap the boy, but rather brought him home, claiming that his parents were planning to move back to Israel at the time of the crash. Italian police have opened a kidnapping investigation into the incident. Crown Princess Kiko of Japan turned 55 on Saturday. As is her tradition, she gave an interview in commemoration of her birthday. On the subject of her eldest daughter's impending wedding, Princess Kiko said that she had had many conversations with her daughter about Princess Mako's desire to marry. She said that she had worked very hard to accept her daughter's feelings and to respect her wish to marry Mr. Kimuro. She did not comment on Princess Mako's refusal of a traditional marriage ceremony, which has caused some public unease in Japan. The Crown Princess said that she would like to hear the thoughts of her younger daughter, Princess Keiko, concerning her own plans for marriage in the future. The Crown Princess's husband will become the Emperor of Japan upon the death of his brother, the current Emperor, and her son will be the Emperor after her husband. Speaking about her son, she expressed an openness to considering his wishes when it comes to choosing a high school for him to attend next year. And finally, on the happier side of things, a custodian in Atlanta got a new car. Mr. Chris, the head custodian of Unity Grove Elementary School, had been struggling in life recently. For the past few months, faculty and staff at the school have helped him secure a place to live and aided in the paying of utility bills. The only problem was that Mr. Chris lacked any mode of transportation and had to walk to and from school every day. So the good people at the school collected funds over time and purchased him a car so that he could easily get to work. And now you know the news. Until next time, good night and God bless.